Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Molloy, and joining me tonight is no one. I hope everybody's doing great. Hope everybody had a great week. I know the Miami Dolphins probably had, well, they did. They had a great week. We won. We beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-17. Um, Played against a decent team. They're fighting to stay alive, to get into the playoff picture, and we definitely probably have taken them out of that. Although I think there's still some possibilities of some things happen. I'm not too up on that, but anyway, we beat them 20-17. Played good complementary football. Um, Baker Mayfield had a rough time out there. Their receivers couldn't get open. Our cornerbacks and defensive backs were like white on top of them, like white on rice. He just couldn't get any make any big plays with his passing game. A few here and there, a few little plays here and there, but for the most part, the rookies stepped up. Marshall stepped up, had an interception. Ashton Davis, the guy we haven't heard too much of this year on the defense, had an interception as well. Made a great play on the ball. And then the norms, Jordan Brooks had a good game. Tyrell Dobson had a fair game. Minka Fitzpatrick didn't play, right? He wasn't even back there. It was Melifano and Ashton Davis for the most part, maybe a little bit of Dante Trader. But the rookies, they played very well in this game, very well. Kenneth Grant even stepped up and had a decent game. Jordan Phillips, Zeke Biggers, they're good guys in the rotation there, along with Zach Sealer. Chop, he had a good, not Chop Robinson, but Bradley Chubb is who I'm referring to. I get them mixed up for some reason. Anyway, Bradley Chubb had a good game, had a couple sacks. He made his monies, his incentives that's in the contract. I think he reached that in that game. So he's playing 110% or more, even though we're not playing for anything. They're all playing pretty good. We're all playing. The whole team is playing pretty good. We're all playing good. So can't complain about that. They're giving 110%. They're still playing for Mike McDaniel as much as everybody, says he's on the hot seat. He's going to be back next year. He's not going to be back next year. We don't know. I had a last podcast I talked about why we should keep Mike McDaniel. That doesn't mean that I want him to be here. But if we are going to go with him, this is I gave you some reasons why we should keep him last week on the podcast. Now, I know somebody had mentioned in the comments that I said, well, McDaniel, because of the monies, we're paying him. We might as well keep him because we're going to pay him anyway, whether he's released or not. Now I know he's not part of the cap, so I understand that totally. But what I meant to say was just, we're paying him. Might as well keep him. We're paying him. You're going to pay him anyway, regardless. I don't really think we're going to be going anywhere next year anyway. As far as playoff picture goes, we might have another season maybe similar to this one, and that's my gut feeling at the present time. Don't know. Off season hasn't even started yet. And as far as Mike McDaniel goes, we don't know if he's going to be here or not. We will know probably after the game this week with the New England Patriots up there in Foxborough in the cold weather. So we'll see how that goes. We'll get into that. We'll, the game a little bit, some of the stats, comparisons and things with the New England Patriots game. But let's talk a little bit about the present, right? The game we had this last week. The big talk of the town, right, is Quinn Ewers. I call him Quinn Ewers, right? Quinn Ewers. That's who I've been evaluating, along with the other rookies and things like that. But a lot of them have already played this year, off and on, right, on the defensive line. And we have 7-9 on the offense. Ollie Gordon, we've seen most of those guys playing, right? Who we haven't seen was Theo Reese, who caught a touchdown pass, 63 yards from Quinn Ewers, his favorite target, and Dulcich. Dulcich, we've seen him playing all year, and he's gotten better, and he's been more of an asset this year on this offense than anything else. Blocking, and pass catching. He's a guy we probably should look into probably keeping next year, right? We took him out, we got him off the practice squad. He can't be too much, right? He's going to be cheap. Waller, I don't know what's going to happen with him. But we'll see. Julian Hill, we'll see. Jalen Wright has been showing out. He was kind of absent there for a while during the season, but he's starting to show what his value for this Miami Dolphins football team. Is another guy we got to keep, in my opinion, along with Ollie Gordon. So man, it was great complimentary football, as I said. We're looking at Quinn Ewers as the guy that I'm really evaluating, and he outshined Baker Mayfield. He made some really good passes. Sure, he made some bad passes as well, but no turnovers. What else can you ask from the rookie for a second start of the season? No turnovers. We won this game. Did he win the game for us? No, but he was part of the winning, right? He was part of it. He contributed to the win. So I gotta put him in that category. Right now, to me, he's looking okay. He's showing some flashes here and there. I know Tampa's, they had a 7-9 record, if I'm not mistaken. Now they weren't the best team in football. They've had their struggles the last 6 or 7 games, and they had a lot of injuries and things as well. No excuse, but yeah, and still, I'm not making excuses for Miami winning either. I mean, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I personally didn't think they were going to win this game. I did not, and they did. But going back to Quinn Ewers, yeah, man, and I'm a little biased. He's from Texas, In fact, we got a lot of players on that offense that are from Texas. You got Ollie Gordon from Texas. He played high school ball here. Then you got Brewer, Aaron Brewer. You got Patrick Paul. You got Achan. I know him. Theo Reese. Played high school ball up in the I believe it's Fort Worth area in Texas. So and then you've got Quinn Ewers. Born in San Antonio. Raised up in the Dallas area, South Lake, played for South Lake High School, and played for Texas. So we got a lot of Texans on that Dolphins offense. Maybe that's why they're playing a little better. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, I think Ewers has shown some flashes. And by the way, I want to thank everybody for joining the chat. If you're in here, appreciate you all. Make sure you hit that like button. Wherever platform you're at, come over here, come to the chat, the community here, and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, also come over here, hit that bell down there, and then subscribe, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And remember, we may not always agree everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we do agree on. We are all Dolphins. So with that, yes, Quinn Ewers. I'm liking what I see. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna keep it real, right? This is what I do in this show. I'm objective. I give you all a dose of reality. Right now, the way that I see him playing, he's playing like a really good backup. Okay, he belongs in the NFL, I believe, and he's playing like a really good backup. And that's something we might very well have him here for, is to compete for a backup position next year. I don't know. I don't even know. Are we going to draft a quarterback in the first round? I don't know. I don't know if we will or not. Maybe in the second round. But I think we should definitely draft a quarterback to compete, and I think we should bring another veteran in. So there's going to be a few veterans that are available quarterbacks that we can get on the cheap and they can come and they can compete, make it a 3 quarterback competition, and may the best man win. But keep drafting quarterbacks until you find your guy. That's something we haven't done in a long, long time. I mean, we've drafted quarterbacks like Skylar Thompson in the 7th round, drafted Ewers in the 7th round. But remember, he was one of the best recruited high school players coming out. And until he got hurt, after he was going to be a top draft choice, first, 2nd round draft choice. And then he got hurt, and I guess nobody wanted to take a chance on him. But anyway, he dropped down to the 7th round, and we took advantage, and we got him. And now we might have a definitely, at the minimum, a really good backup on the cheap on a rookie deal, right? No more Zach Wilson's bringing in for $8 grand, 8 million, or whatever it might be. But anyway, so yeah, he's showing flashes. I like what I'm seeing. I love his quick release. He's got that little flick of the wrist, quick release. Reminds me of Dan Marino. Not saying he's Dan Marino, guys. Don't get it. Don't get that confused. He's not Dan Marino. Nowhere near it. But he definitely has a nice quick release, natural. He looks comfortable back there. A lot of poise, a lot of confidence. Now, very happy for this game. We beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Great showing by the Miami Dolphins on both sides of the ball. Of course, we didn't, I was kind of scary there coming out of halftime. We haven't done very well at halftime, and we still really didn't put a lot of points up after halftime. But we definitely I didn't feel any time during the game that Tampa Bay was going to come back, right? I didn't, because we had that defense was just, they were playing in all 4 cylinders. I mean, Anthony Weaver, I got to give him his kudos. He had that defense, playing really well. They prepared really well for that game. Even offense played pretty well. All those some kooky calls that Mike McDaniel always has here and there during the game. Again, a lot of delay of game, some penalties, costly penalties that could have been worse. So we won, so I'm very happy about that. And going forward, as of now, I'm very happy. Some of these rookies are starting to catch on. I guess the speed of the game has slowed down for them. And as I said, they've been in and out of the lineup here throughout the year. So maybe they're starting to catch on a little bit now. I think we have a good core of rookies that we can definitely keep for next year, going into next year, and continue to evaluate and develop. That's the key. So very happy about the way the game turned out. And Aaron Brewer wasn't playing either. They had Andrew Mayer, who was playing center, held his own against Vita Vea. I mean, he did a good job. All right. Cole Strange had a decent game. The whole line played very okay. They played pretty well, with the exception of Austin Jackson had struggled a little bit, although he had some good PFF numbers, but he still struggled a little bit. Mayer had some good moments. And again, filling in for Aaron Brewer, one of the best centers in football. Patrick Paul had another solid game. Jonah Sevenai is the guy that I got big concerns with, right? I just have some big concerns, and I do with Cole Strange, the guard on the right side too. He's up and down, right? He's not very consistent. He'll have a good game, then he'll have 3 or 4 bad games. So we need more consistency on the right guard position. So that, and Austin Jackson, he's hurt again. He was hurt this year. Of course, he's come back, but he's serviceable tackle. But I think we need to upgrade at the right tackle. We need a guard, and Jonah Sevenai, hopefully he improves, right? Hopefully he improves. We got him on a guaranteed 4-year guaranteed contract. Remember, we signed him on a guaranteed contract. So He's gonna be in there, hopefully he can develop, but he's made some strides here and there. He's had one or maybe 1 or 2 good games, and then the rest have just been not very good. So I'm very concerned with the left guard. Tackle, I think we're set with Patrick Paul. Center, we're set. Um, so we'll see how it goes this up and coming off season. We'll know for sure what direction the Miami Dolphins are going to go in as far as coaching and GM positions go uh, right after the game this week. If Mike McDaniel is going to get fired, especially if we lose to New England, if we lose to New England bad, it's possible Mike McDaniel gets the axe, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's been, it's been going back and forth on this. He's in the hot seat. He's not in the hot seat. He's in the hot seat. He's not in the hot seat. They're keeping him. They're not keeping him. They're not set who they're going to keep, and all this kind of stuff. So we don't know. But we will have a more of a perspective of what's going to happen after the game this week with the New England Patriots after this game. So we'll see. Yeah, Andrew Mayer, the center, backup for Brewer. He's a keeper, right? As a depth player, I think we can keep him as a depth player. We can keep Cole Strange as a depth player, right? If you want to keep him, he's not going to cost you a lot of money. That's two that we can keep, right? And they're still young. They're still young, right? So we're going to be a young team next year, I think. I think there's going to be some players that we're going to release, not because of their play or anything, but just because of their age, right? They're pushing 30. And not only that, but I think we're going younger. I really think we're going to be going younger. So that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Who knows, right? Going on the defensive side of the ball, do we keep Minkah Fitzpatrick? Do we sign him? He's pushing 30, right? Or over 30. We got 30 players on this roster they're not going to be under contract next year. We still got to pay them. We still got to pay our rookie class once we draft, right? And you got to pay your practice squad players. Are we going to give Brooks a contract? He deserves it. I think he's probably one of the best middle linebackers in football right now in the NFL. You got to pay him, right? If you can't, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt that defense. He's a leader. He's a hitter. He's a all around good player. And Terrell Dobson. Are we going to sign him back? He's had a decent year. Nothing great, but he's. I think we've had this linebacker core that we have has been pretty good. Better than it has been in the past. I think, in my opinion. So that's a guy you're going to sign. Rasul Douglas, you're going to sign him. Jack Jones, you're going to sign him. Aquavision, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you for joining tonight. Make sure you hit that like button, brother. Appreciate you. But yeah, so Zeke Biggers, Jordan Phillips, good rotational pieces. Zach Sealer's not getting any younger, although he signed a contract and everything. Hasn't lived up to that contract this year. Had a good game here or there, sack here and there, but he hasn't lived up to that contract. Okay. But we got some pieces that I think are gonna make a big difference on that O-line, D line, and that's Zeke Biggers, Jordan Phillips. You got to keep those guys. Hey, Zeke Biggers had a blocked field goal, right? And Kenneth Grant, he's going to be around. Hopefully he improves. He had a decent game, good game this last one. Let's see what he does in New England, right? Um, but yeah, those are some of the guys we got to think about if we're going to keep them or not, right? Uh, Depending on what direction we go. So we'll know more after the game, the New England game, this week. Same with Ewers. Let's talk about him. He's got a game coming up with the New England Patriots. This is going to be a very, very, very good test for Quinn Ewers. Okay, it's going to be a good test for the whole, defense, offense, but especially Quinn Ewers. This is going to be a game where we'll see. He's going to get the true test. So far he's been reading defenses pretty well. He's been getting the ball out. He hasn't, within the exception of the first game, he had an interception, a couple interceptions. One I would say wasn't his fault. Maybe he shouldn't thrown it. Who knows? But I don't. That was a deflection, right? It bounced off. I think it was Theo Reese's chest or one of those wide receivers. I don't remember now. But anyway, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let me give you the comparisons. We play the New England Patriots. We're going to be up in Foxborough. It's going to be cold. That's another thing. He's from Texas, Quinn Ewers. Let's see if he can withstand the elements, right? The pressure up there in New England as well, because they're going to be fighting, man. I don't think they're going to be resting many players. They're going to be fighting for a number one seed, right? A spot in winning the division. So they're not gonna be fooling around up there. So let me find this here. Where is it? Where is it? That's something. I had it all set here. Now I can't find it. Give me a second, guys and gals. Okay, here we go. All right. So how they compare? The Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. Total offense, Dolphins. They're ranked 25th. The Patriots are ranked 4. Passing offense, the Dolphins are ranked 25th. Patriots ranked 3rd. Rushing offense, Miami's 10th. New England is 13th. So they've got a decent running game. Not as good as Miami's, but they got a decent running game. Scoring offense, Miami ranks 22. And the New England Patriots rank 5th. They average 28.3 points a game. Miami averages 22. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If we're going to win this game in New England this week, we're going to have to score more than 25 points. I guarantee you that. If we're going to win the game, we're going to have to score more than 25 points. Definitely more than 25 points. Sacks allowed. Miami's ranked 13th. New England is 26th. So they are a little vulnerable to getting, sacks, sacking the quarterback. Remember now, Drake May is very mobile, very athletic. So we got to be careful there with the defense. Third down offense, 27th, Miami. New England is 7th. Now let's go to the defense side of the ball. Total defense. Miami is ranked 21st. New England is ranked 7th. Passing defense. Miami is ranked 18th. They've improved since the beginning of the year. And New England is ranked 10th. Rushing defense. Miami is 24th. We've struggled with running backs this year, right? With stopping the run. New England is 8. Scoring defense. Miami is 21. New England is 5th. New England is only allowing 19 points a game. where Miami's defense is allowing 24 points per game. Sacks, Miami is ranked 14th. Big improvement this year. Big improvement from the beginning of the year. They're ranked 13th. New England is ranked 12th. Takeaways. Here's where Miami's made a very, very big improvement, especially from last year. They are ranked 11, and New England is ranked 21st. Giveaways. Miami's ranked 25th. New England is ranked 10th. So it's you can see where or what I mean by Quinn Ewers, even the offense as a whole is going to have a tough time against this New England defense, especially playing up in New England and in the cold. So it's not going to be easy going for the Miami Dolphins offense. Not like it was against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense was they're like the low 25s, 26 in a lot of categories. So this is going to be tough going for our offensive line and for Quinn Ewers, our quarterback and receivers. It's not going to be easy, guys. If we come out ahead and we win this game, I'm going to say, yeah, keep McDaniel. Keep him, right? Give him another year, But if we come out and we lose by a big margin, a big score, I mean, they beat us like 38-17 or 38-10 or something, big score like that. Nah, man, McDaniel's got to go. Regardless, he's got to go. He's got to go. Even though last week I did say these are some of the reasons why we should keep him, and the reason why, and let me retract that, go back and retract a little bit on that. The reason why I said that is because I have a feeling that he's coming back. That's why. I have a feeling that he is coming back, and I have a feeling Champ Kelly is going to be the GM. Only because those two have such good chemistry together. It appears anyway. But I don't know. We'll see, after next week what's going to happen, if Mike McDaniel's going to be fired, if Champ Kelly's going to be the GM or what. We need some answers. All right? We need to know. And the Dolphins, of course, they need to make a decision too, because right after this offseason, work doesn't stop. The players may take off a little bit, but the coaches, the scouts, and all that, they're still preparing for the draft. They're preparing for free agency. It doesn't stop. So we got to get we got to have some some kind of answers on the coaching staff and stuff like that, right? Especially the GM and the coach. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. See what Ross decides. But yeah, I think this is going to be a tough game against New England. I personally don't think we're going to win this game. If we win this game, it'd be a big surprise to me, and I'm sure it's going to be a big surprise to a lot of Dolphin fans. I want them to win. Go out with a bang, right? So we'll see how that goes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm kind of excited this year for the off season. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on over here in this channel. The Fins Talk Sports Network, Real Talk Fins Talk, and all the other shows that are on this network. We're going to be, talking Dolphins throughout, off season and stuff. We're going to have draft shows. We're going to, breaking news, free agency signings and things like that. We're going to have panel shows, and especially on this show, I like to have some panel shows where, we have folks on here talking about the recent additions and the draft and all that. So it should be great. It should be a great off season, and I'm very excited for it. Look, we already made some changes, right? we already made some changes, maybe some changes that some of you, really would have liked to see more of, but we got rid of two player personnel directors that have been with this team for over 25, and I think one was 30 years. Okay. That's a big change for this organization, believe it or not. And for Ross, you know, that's a big change and a big decision that he made to get, to release these guys and to release Chris Greer, another biggie, right? So I'm hoping they continue to make these changes. I'm hoping that they put the right people in place. So I think they're on the right track. Hopefully, the trajectory we're going to is we're going to get younger. We're going to develop, rookies that we draft, undrafted rookies, and hopefully we can grow and we can build a dynasty. Okay, not just a one and done, year. No, I want us to build a dynasty. We don't have to, be a Super Bowl contending team next year, but at least get to the playoffs, or not maybe next year, but in a couple years, 2 or 3 years, competing for a playoff spot. Hey, how's it going, man? How's it going, Raphael? Appreciate you for joining, brother. I'm doing great. I'm doing great, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well and you had a good holiday, uh, Christmas and everything, and I wish you a happy new year coming up. I wish everybody out there in the audience a happy new year. Man, this year has gone by really quick, really, really quick. But yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm very excited for the up and coming season. We made some big moves already. Ross has. I, I'm happy about that. I just hope that we. Thank you, Raphael. Yeah, so I'm just hoping that they make the right moves, right? And we do build that dynasty. And as I said, I don't know if we're going to be how good we're going to be in the next 2 years or so. I think we're going to be, number one, we need to get the books straight. We need to get the cap. We need to get out of that cap hell, and we need to get the books straightened out. Once we do that, then we can start doing what we have to do, right? I think it's going to take at least a good 2 years to get back to maybe competing for a playoff spot, a wild card, or something like that. Um, but you never know. You never know. We may hit on a quarterback, and not this up and coming draft, but maybe the next draft. Look what New England did, right? Look what Denver did. Now Denver had a lot of pieces in place already, even before they let Russell Wilson go. So it was set up nicely for Bo Nix. Not saying take discrediting Bo Nix, but they had some pieces together. Same with New England. They had some pieces together. Then they just had to have that right coach. They got the right coach in, the right quarterback. They had some pieces in place, and they built on that. Right? I'm not saying we can't do that, but it's very rare that happens, after a year or two. Very rare that happens, but it can be done. Can this organization do that? That's the big question. That's the big question. So we'll see how it goes, man. Like I said, about 2 years, if we can if we can if we can get the right quarterback, whether it's yours or someone we draft or whatnot, we get the right coaching. That I don't just mean the head coach. I mean head coach on down to assistant coach to running backs coach, wide receivers, linebackers coach, defensive line coach, the whole coaching, right? If we can get that right, then maybe in a couple years we can start competing again, right? I'm just afraid that Ross, even though I say that why we should keep McDaniel in my last podcast, I'm just afraid that Ross is going to keep McDaniel and keep Champ Kelly, and he's just going to run it back and just think, oh man, All we need is a couple pieces and we'll be good. And then we're going to be in mediocrity for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever years again, right? Hopefully they've learned their lesson. Hopefully they've learned their lesson. Um, that's really all I had to talk about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the game. I'm very happy that we beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I honestly didn't think we were going to do that. Uh, in that up and coming game with New England, I don't think we're going to win. Hopefully, we do. I would like to see us win. It'd be a big surprise if we do. And Quinn Ewers, man, he outshined Baker Mayfield, and he's improved. He definitely improved from the last game. I mean, no turnovers. He's been reading the defense really good. It's really refreshing to see a young man come up there at the podium and not put his team under the bus and praise his defense, praise his, the players, and also explained, cover two and all these different, X's and O's that we haven't heard in a long time from a quarterback. And I think one of the reasons why is because that quarterback really didn't know how to read defenses. And McDaniel said, I got to give McDaniel credit. He did bench, our third string quarterback, the emergency quarterback we presently have. I'm not going to mention the name anymore on this channel. I'm done with that individual. But he said, that Ewers might have that Texas twang, and in the way he talks and stuff like that, but he's a lot smarter than what you all folks think. And I think he is. And you can see that in his play, his poise, his confidence, his quick release. He's looking, he's reading, he's processing the field very well. Very well for a rookie. We forget he's a 7th round pick, ladies and gentlemen. This is only his second start. Can you imagine? I would be praising a guy that we got in the first round that's doing what Ewers is doing at present time. You don't see very many first round draft picks, quarterbacks, the first or second game playing the way Ewers has. He's just shown so much confidence. It's amazing to me. Again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Right now, I see him as a great, a good backup for us. Maybe I just don't want to put my foot in my mouth and say, oh, he's the next best thing to sliced bread, and he turns out to be a nobody, right? So I'm not ready to say that about him yet, that he's going to be a starter and he's going to be really good in the NFL. We don't know. Actually, we don't have a big enough sample size, right? But we got enough sample size in the last couple games, even the Cleveland game, where we saw some things where you're like, maybe we can work with that. Maybe we can work with that. And the biggest thing is that he's an intelligent quarterback. He's got that quick, natural release. He can throw the ball sidearm, underarm, whatever. He's got that baseball, experience behind him. He played shortstop up here in Texas, so he's got that going for him as well. He's a lot more athletic than the previous quarterback that we have, for sure. When is the last time we've seen a quarterback run for a first down with the Miami Dolphins? He's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not a Josh Allen, or Drake May or any of these guys that are mobile like that. But he can move around a little bit. He'll shock you. So go look at some of his tape in college. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I really wanted to say was, talk a little bit about the past game and then the upcoming game. And then I wanted to wish all of you a happy new year. And I think the Miami Dolphins is definitely, on the right track. So, yeah, I appreciate it, Raphael. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. I missed you, man. I wish you could come around more often, man. But anyway, thanks again for joining the chat, watching the show. I couldn't do this without you all. I enjoy doing this. Um, I try to be real, keeping it real, giving you all a dose of reality. I'm a little biased when it comes to Quinn Ewers. I hope it doesn't show too much, but I'm trying to keep it objective. I want to keep it objective. So again, thanks again, guys. Happy New Year. God bless, and see you next week. I'm going to have a special show next week with somebody you all probably haven't seen in a while. We're going to have a little reunion, so I'm sure you all are going to enjoy that. So thanks again, guys. God bless, and remember, Dolphins number one, baby. Dolphins number one.